What are you most excited to see or do at PDAC 2022?
I think the biggest thing for Libero Copper is that it's really a new story, and yes, there's been one-to-one meetings or some of these virtual conferences, but PDAC really takes things to a much larger scale to get to a much bigger audience, that people can be able to see the name of the company, understand the potential of the companies, hear the new story, is what we're definitely most excited about.
What do you want new investors to know about Libero right away?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Libero Copper is taking advantage of a huge opportunity where in the copper space especially, there's some star projects and there's this completely undervalued assets, and we took advantage of that, acquiring some excellent assets. Any single one of them would be called a company building asset, and put them together under a single company, all in the Americas, and all have that potential to become future mines. And it really taking advantage of a huge opportunity, because we do believe, I think the majority of people in the mining space understand the huge potential that copper has in terms of the transformation of energy, serious supply problems, and there's a huge expectation of growth in the future.
What is your background and how did you get started in the industry?
So unfortunately, when I was a small child, I went to go find rocks with my dad inside the dried stream beds, and I wanted to be an engineer. I went into Virginia Tech, and kind of the mix together became a mining engineer. So I'm actually a mining engineer from my background. I've worked 25 years in the industry, and now 15 of those years in South America.
How would you describe the industry now compared to when you first started?
I remember when I first came to the industry, I graduated, there wasn't very many people going into the mining space, and I remember seeing a lot of much older, experienced people and saying, oh wow, one day, here's my chance, I'm going to be captain of this type of ship. And I think the realization that's come recently is, oh boy, but what does the crew look like? We've gone through some serious downturn, bear market in terms of capital, but now maybe a little bit of capital's coming in, and then it's, oh, the quality of the projects, oh, there's not very many projects out. But I think the real fight is going to be for talent. It's one of the serious advantages Libero has, because we have a serious portfolio. We have put together an amazing team that allows us to actually drive those projects forward. So I think that the fight for talent is going to be a serious issue within the industry.
What do you think the future of mining looks like?
I think for the future of mining, there's just a feeling, this is a personal opinion, that there's going to have to be a dramatic change. Something is going to happen. I feel that whatever is going on, it's not really working. I think that there's going to have to be a transformation within the industry, with a new generation having a different perspective. It's more than just ESG. There really has to be a serious change in the way that mining companies work, how they're financed, and I believe that it's actually probably going to be more vertical integration is going to be really the future of mining. Mining has to be more than just mining.
Can you give us an introduction to the Macoa project?
So the Macoa project is in the Jurassic Porphyry belt that was been famous for Fruta del Norte, Mirador, Mirador Norte, Pananza, San Carlos, and Warintza, but that geology doesn't respect geological boundaries, and it goes right into Colombia. So we're kind of a first to really be exploring that Jurassic belt. It was last drilled by B2 Gold in 2012. It was acquired by Libero in 2018, but it's kind of just been sitting, and we've really got a team around it to restart it. The concession package is about 8,000 hectares, but we have title applications now for 100,000 hectares, everything to the northeast and southwest. So we've really taken advantage of being first players. It currently has a resource estimate of over 636 million tons, contains over 2 million tons of copper, and contains 500 million pounds of moly. To put it into perspective, world moly production is 600 million pounds. So the deposit, if it was mined today over 20 years, that's 5% of the world moly production. It's already a big project, and really is still in its infancy.
What are the advantages to operating in Colombia?
I've worked in 8 different countries in South America, and Colombia, for many aspects, it is a wonderful place to work. Starting with, it has a business culture. not just a mining culture, but a true business culture that allows it easy to work in any business that you're doing in Colombia. That's a huge start. Second, it already has a robust mining industry. It's the 5th largest producer of coal, exporter of coal in the world, and many people don't realize that. So it has a robust industry, it has a gold industry, it has a nickel industry already existing, and it really has said we want to diversify into copper. It's important for the energy transformation of the country and of the planet, and we need to diversify. So that is the big plus. There's a leadership, there's an industry, and there's a business culture.
Walk us through the exploration and growth potential at Mocoa. How has your understanding of that potential changed following your recent geophysical and geochemical work?
So it's something that's difficult to understand, but we acquired the project and then did a resource estimate based on the existing drilling, not because a project was delimited. Right? Normally companies wait until it's all delimited and then do their first resource estimate. We did it, one, to obviously justify the acquisition of the asset. So, but it was always open in all directions. We knew it was just the beginning, and we knew it was open and would have huge opportunities for expansion, and knowing the Jurassic Porphyry belt that is famous for these porphyry clusters. And really, we flew geophysics in October, end of last year, and it really said another clue that yes, this thing is still just at an infancy. 9 different new targets, the majority of them right around the existing deposit area, open in all directions, so we have a high confidence that we have this pathway to get over that billion-ton mark.
What would be a good comparable project to Mocoa?
So quickly, a quick background. For 6 years, I worked in Ecuador. I was Senior Vice President and Country Manager for Corriente Resources, and took the Mirador project all the way through feasibility and start of construction. It went on to become the first large-scale mining operation in the history of Ecuador. Right to the north of that project is Warintza, which is owned by Solaris. If you compare the two projects, even our existing resource estimate, grade at their main cutoff, and they also had a cutoff for a conceptual starter pit, is almost identical. The only difference is they are 3 times bigger. But that's a great starting place. Today, Libero is worth about $25 million. Solaris is $1.3 billion. So we have a clear pathway as we continue to explore, continue to expand, and demonstrate to market that this is a serious project. It's moving forward. We can create significant value for our shareholders.
What is your outlook for the remainder of 2022?
For the rest of the year, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have multiple assets. We're currently mobilizing. We have camp constructed. We'll be mobilizing at Big Red in British Columbia in the Golden Triangle, where we're testing after the end of drilling last year, a thesis confirmed by geophysics or a target created from geophysics, a very large potassic anomaly directly to the east of the drilling we did last year. So we're testing that target this year with drilling, and then also we'll be continuing to be drilling throughout the end of the year at Mocoa. And the third is we're actually working on getting a permitting and are on a clear path now on how to get that permit in place in Esperanza in Argentina. So a lot of catalysts coming up in the near term, through from now to the end of the year with Libero.